you know, Rochester's a special place. I've known it for a long time, and we're gonna make it better, okay? I want to thank, before I begin, I have to thank some friends. Carl Palladino. Yeah, get him out of here. Where did they come from? Where did these people come from? Trump rally, folks. I want to thank Carl Palladino, James Howe, Bill Nojay, and Bill Rylick. Thank you, kids. Great job. Really great job. So let's talk a little bit about Rochester for a second, because we're here. We come upstate. I know what's been going on for a long time. This same group, including Carl and many others, they asked me to run for governor. Between you and I sort of said, I'm sorry, but I'm doing something else I didn't want to say. This is what the something else was. And I think it can have a lot bigger effect on upstate New York and on Rochester by doing what I'm doing than I could have even as governor. Although you would have been fracking by now, a long time ago, you would have been fracking. It is sad, though, when you go at the line and you see in Pennsylvania machines, boom, 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 all the way up and down the line, and yet on the right of the line, we can't have those machines because they're bad for the environment, okay? So, explain it. We could have wiped out our debt in New York, we could have wiped out our debt, but hey, we will get it straightened out, folks. One way or the other, we're gonna get it straightened out. Some statistics. I just did this on the way up, and I wanted to do it. I have a lot of friends that are here from this area, and they're hanging in there. They're hanging in there. They're not leaving. But in New York State, lost 3 out of 4 manufacturing jobs that existed in 1960. You know, when you think of that, 3 out of 4. Rochester, which is an amazing place with amazing people, which we see today, has lost more than half of its manufacturing jobs since 1997 due to NAFTA, Asian currency manipulation, and China. I mean, you know, give me a break. I've been talking about this for 5 years to 7 years, forever. Century Safe just left, they moved to Mexico, right? No good, no good. I'm the only one who knows how to stop it. I would stop them so fast your heads would spin. And I guarantee you one thing, I'm not buying Century Safe, that's for sure, right? I'm not buying the product. The entire country lost 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs since 1997. Think of that. How sick is that? How sad and how stupid is it that we put up with it? 1/3 of its jobs, manufacturing, since 1997. Since 1999, Rochester has lost 32% of its transportation jobs, 30% of its building and ground maintenance jobs, and 43% of its science jobs. 43% gone. All right, you do. You need somebody fast, I know that. Not even going to be that hard, believe me. It's going to go quickly, a lot quicker than people think. They say, oh, he can't do that. I can do it. You watch. I'll just show you. It's going to go fast. I mean, how much longer do we have, right? How much longer? It's going to go fast. TPP, listen to this. That's the Trade Pact, which is a disaster. It will be worse for you, for Rochester, for upstate New York, for New England, for the entire country. It will be worse than NAFTA. It will be worse. Ted Cruz is totally in favor of it. I've met a lot tougher people than him over the years, but I've never met anybody that could lie like him. Of course, course, a really good liar doesn't get caught lying, right? He gets caught. Remember with Ben Carson? Ben Carson has left the race, he said. Vote for me. He's left. This was during election day. And Ben Carson endorsed me, by the way, and he's a great guy. TP, which is a disaster. Both of my competitors now are totally endorsing TPP. Will give 3,000 foreign companies, think of this one, nobody even talks about this, the opportunity to sue New York for the differential in payments because of the United States and New York regulations. We have regulations. These companies are now going to come in and they're going to sue us because we're allowing them to come in. The whole thing is crazy. And we have politicians, they're not so stupid, all of them. Some are stupid and some are being taken care of by, as you know, their lobbyists, their special interests. Me, I'm self-funding my campaign. I mean, think of that. So they're going to come in, we're going to end up with thousands of lawsuits over what? Over the fact that we allow them to come in. Rules and regulations, and we have to abide, but we don't have to abide because of them. It's going to end, folks. The stupidity is going to end. Bausch & Lomb, they moved their headquarters out of Rochester. Xerox is outsourcing to IBM in different locations. The whole thing is a catastrophe. Could I ask you a question? I love loyalty. I love the fact that you stay. Why did you stay? Why? Why? You know why you stay? Because you know if I get elected, Rochester is going to boom again, okay? Our whole country is going to boom again. You know, I'll give you a little example. So I hear about century safes. I just heard about it today. They left. They're going to Mexico. They're going to make safes. They're going to let go of 500 people. And here's what's going to happen. Very simply. They're going to make their safe. And I'm going to say, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful product. Good luck with it. But you're going to pay a nice big tariff or tax when you try and sell that safe to the United States. 100%. And if they know that before they make their decision to move and before they build their plant, if they know that they're going to be paying a 35% tax, they're not moving, folks. They're going to stay where they are. They'll be fine. And you know, I watch these politicians, corporate inversion. You see about corporate inversions, it's a huge problem where companies are moving out of the United States. They get lower taxes. And by the way, my tax policy, low taxes, I cut it. Some people, by far the biggest of any of the candidates that ran and that are currently running, but we cut the taxes way, way down for middle-income people because the middle income has been forgotten in this country. Been forgotten. Totally forgotten. And we cut them down for business. We're the highest taxed nation anywhere in the world. We pay more tax than anybody. We have more rules and regulations than anybody. That's how these TPP countries are going to come in. They probably have clauses where, oh, you don't have to go by the rules and regulations. Then they come, they say, oh, you misrepresented because look at all the rules and regulations. Let's sue the United States. Let's sue New York State. Let's sue Rochester, okay? Get your lawyers ready, folks. End TPP. It's a disaster. End it. All right. So I know how to do this. Now I watch these politicians. It's so sad. And they don't know how to stop companies from moving. Well, I know how. You just tell those companies, if you move, you're going to be taxed when you sell your product into the United States. And they're not going to move. And they don't want to talk about it, because I love free trade. The problem is, when you have free trade, you need smart dealers. You need smart negotiators. You need smart people running your country. We don't have that. We have just the exact opposite, okay? So I like free trade, but free trade is not free trade. It's dump trade, because we lose with China. We lose with Mexico. We lose with Japan and Vietnam and every single country that we deal with. We lose with Canada. Big league, tremendous trade deficits with Canada. We lose with everybody. We lose. No more is right. No more. It's ended. It's ended. It is ended. And that's why nobody has crowds like this. You know, they stopped the buses from coming in an hour ago. There are thousands of people that want to come in, And they said they had a fire problem. Look at the size of this hangar. This is a big hangar. It's packed. Now the press, which is so dishonest, they won't show that. They won't show that. They don't show that. You know, I just went through, when I came up, they asked me a couple of weeks ago, what do I think of? Thank you very much. We love you too. We love these people. We love each other. We want to make our country great again. But I'm going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. You watch. You watch. And somebody said the other day, well, what is your policy like on the military? And I said, America first. America first. You know, the New York Times wrote a terrible misrepresentative story, which they always do. They're totally, you know, it's a failing newspaper. It's probably not going to live for another year. But they write such negative things, just so, and they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. They don't call for comment. They don't call for anything. Because I said, when we defend somebody, when we defend the country, we have to be reimbursed. You know, we defend Japan. We defend everybody. We're like the world's policemen. By the way, speaking of policemen, how great are the police today? And our firefighters are great. I love them. But they wrote a story and they leave things out. For instance, we defend Saudi Arabia. Who has more money than Saudi Arabia? They were making, before the oil went down, they were making $1 billion a day, okay? $1 billion a day. And we defend them. And we pay rent on places that we lease for our military. We pay rent. We take care of everybody. We take care of Germany. We take care of South Korea. We take care of Japan. We take care of everybody. And we're not reimbursed on a fair basis. So I said, whoop, do I hear some people over there? I hope so. Hey, Cameron, they're over there. They're over there, Cameron. The only way the cameras move is there's a disruptor. Then they move. There is no rally like a Trump rally, and nobody gets the people. That I can tell you. So we talked about it. And Trump. Thank you. I love these people. Hey, we're all in this together. Don't forget. The politicians do what their special interests and their lobbyists tell them to do. Okay, disregard. That's why Ted Cruz, who's totally taken care of by the banks, by all sorts of special interests, all of these guys running, including Hillary. You talk about Hillary. You saw what Bernie said? They're starting to get angry at each other now. Bernie's saying she shouldn't be able to be in that position because she's made so many bad decisions. She shouldn't even be running for the position. You saw that. And she has made bad decisions. Boy, has she made. I look so forward to going after Hillary finally. So the problem is that they're all going to be taken care of, and they're all taken care of by different people. You have lobbyists in Washington that specialize in Cruz, and they specialize in Hillary. It says Hillary on their forehead. Hillary. I take care of Hillary. And they give them millions of dollars through different people, probably through themselves also. They give millions of dollars, and when there's a problem, you go and you hire those people. And you say, you know, Cruz has caught on to the fact that Century Safe or whoever it is moving, and they want to be able to move. They don't want any problems. And you know what? 100%, folks, no problem. With me, they'll come see me, and I'm going to say, no, I don't care, doesn't matter. They're paying their 35% tariff to get their product in. I don't care. And I'm not going to be convinced otherwise. But remember what I just said. A little while ago I said, because it's so important for you, it's more important important than for most people because you've been decimated. You know, a lot of areas that I go to, they've been hurt. Every place has been hurt. But Rochester in upstate New York has been decimated, okay? Decimated. And let me just tell you, that's why it's so important. And I guess that's why I'm killing everybody in New York in the polls. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Because these politicians are all talk and they're no action and they'll tell you and they follow what I say. You know, they see what I say and then he'll get here and they'll all get here and they'll say, we've got to tax them. The other day I heard Ted Cruz say, we want a wall and we'll build a wall. I said, where did that come from? All of a sudden, out of the blue. Out of the blue. And by the way, speaking of that, we will have strong borders and we will have the wall and Mexico will pay for it. Mexico will pay for the wall.
Build a wall. Build a wall. Build a wall. Build a wall. Build a wall. Build a wall.
See, we're in a really unfair system, folks. I told you, you've been seeing what's going on. And we're winning, and I think we should win before we get to the convention. I think we should. But let me tell you how crooked the system is. I go to Louisiana, worked hard, made speeches. I made a speech in a hangar just like this. It was packed. We had like 15,000, 16,000 people the night before the election. I left. I wasn't expected to win Louisiana. And I left. I wasn't expected to win. I won 22 or 23 places now. Thank you. 22. 22. You ever see Cruz? He gets up. The only one that can beat Donald Trump, you know, Lion Ted. The only one that can beat Donald Trump. And then he holds the Bible up high. But I've been winning with the evangelicals, which is incredible. I mean, they should, because I don't like liars. But do you remember in the debate where he said, the only one that beats Donald Trump is Ted Cruz? Okay, except for one problem. One problem. What's the problem? He said, I beat him 6 times. I said, yeah, but I beat you 18 times, and he went like, no. It was a weird moment, frankly. It was a weird moment. No, I won 21 or 22 states. He's won half that number, maybe less than half that number. I've won, here's what's important, which they don't even count, because it's a crooked system, folks. It's a crooked system. And in all fairness, take a look at what's happened in Bernie. He wins, he wins, he wins, he wins. And I hear he doesn't have a chance. This is a crooked system, folks. This is a crooked. I'm not a fan of Bernie. I couldn't care less. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't care less about Bernie. But he wins, and he wins like me. I've won twice as much as Cruz. I've won millions and millions of votes more. People that have never voted are coming out to vote for Trump. People that are Democrats. The Republican primaries, it's up more than 70%. The Democrats are down 35%, surprised me. But the Republicans, because of me, are up 70%, almost 70%. From 4 years ago, when we had a choke artist named Mitt Romney that should have won that election. It was a choke artist. But we're up 70% from 4 years ago. Now, every one of those people, if they try and do their little shenanigans, which is politics as usual, every one of those people that are all enthused, and look at all the people here today, and to think we had to stop the buses and thousands, please apologize to them. I'll come back. I'll come back. I'll come back. But think of this. So I watch Bernie. He wins. He wins. He keeps winning, winning, winning. And then I see he's got no chance. They always say he has no chance. Why doesn't he have a chance? Because the system is corrupt. And it's worse on the Republican side. Because I'm up millions of votes on Cruz. Millions. I don't mean like I'm up by 2 votes. I'm up millions and millions of votes. I'm up by hundreds and hundreds of delegates. I go to Louisiana. I win Louisiana. And I say, isn't that beautiful? I love the people. I send them a note, thank you very much. I love you, Louisiana. Then I find out that I get less delegates than Cruz because of some nonsense going on. No, I'm telling you. And I say this to the RNC, and I say it to the Republican Party. You're going to have a big problem, folks, because there are people that don't like what's going on. You know, they don't like what's going on. I mean, I win the state of Arizona, and Cruz wins Utah, which is far less in terms
terms of the number of delegates, right? And then I see Cruz, I won Utah. He doesn't talk about the fact that he got killed in Arizona by a landslide. We've got a corrupt system. It's not right. We're supposed to be a democracy. We're supposed to be, you vote and the vote means something, all right? You vote and the vote means something. And we've got to do something about it. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're doing fine. We should have won it a long time ago, but we keep losing where we're winning. Today, winning votes doesn't mean anything. This is the only time. Have you ever heard anybody say, other than me today, that Donald Trump has millions of votes more than Cruz? Okay? I have millions of votes more than Cruz. And nobody talks about that. Delegates, I have, I think about 200, maybe more than that more. But it's not right, folks, because what they're doing, and whether it's me or whether it's Bernie Sanders, when I look at it and I see all these victories that I have, all these victories that he's got, and then you look at the establishment, and I want to tell you, it's a corrupt deal going on in this country, and it's not good. It's not good. And it's not fair, and it's not fair to you people. A reporter, a very fair reporter, just asked me, what do you think would happen if you didn't get it, Mr. Trump? You have all these people they've never seen. By the way, there's a record crowd. They've never had a crowd like that in the history of this. And that's with many thousands of people being turned away. The buses couldn't take them here because obviously you don't have any room. But with all of that, they said this is a record crowd, over 10,000 people. They've never had anything like this. And you know what, folks? You know what? They're taking your vote away. They're disenfranchising people that want to see America be great again. And politicians will never do it. They don't want to do it. They can't do it because their lobbyists and special interests are saying, we're not going to let you do it. It's no good. And we've got to change the system. And it's got to change fast. So I think we're going to be fine. We're doing really well. But we've got to have a system where voting means something. Doesn't it have to mean something? Okay? So Rochester, listen to this beauty. Rochester lost 90,000 jobs since 1970, 4,000 jobs in the last 6 months.
Oh my God.
4,000 jobs in 6 months. Don't leave. Don't leave Rochester. I'm telling you, I will bring it back so fast. Oh. And then they have the Rochester unemployment rate is higher than the state and all of that stuff. I mean, it's really a sad situation. So we're going to make the greatest trade deals ever made by any country. I'm good at that stuff. That's right. I built a great company, tremendous assets, some of the great assets of the world, Doral, Turnberg, great buildings all over the place. And you know, it's funny, when I put my papers in, everyone said, well, he won't file. You know, nobody knows because I'm private, so nobody knows. So I put the papers in, the press goes there. They were so devastated to see how great. And I'm not bragging about it, I'm just saying that's the kind of thinking the country needs now. They need thinking like thinking. They need smart thinking. Built a company with some of the greatest assets in the world, but tremendous cash flow, very, very low debt, and people haven't seen anything like it. And it's, you know, it's phenomenal. And all filed. They all said, well, maybe it'll take a long time to file. I didn't take a long time. I actually filed ahead of schedule. In fact, if I wasn't going to run, I probably would have filed anyway because it's a form of bragging. That's how good the company is. I think I would have filed anyway. But I made the decision to run. And the reason I did was I just had it. I watched the Iran deal being made, which now turns out to be a disaster. And I could have said it was a disaster when they started negotiating with infinity years. Did you ever see a deal take so long? Okay? Now, Kerry did not read the art of the deal, by the way. Kerry is an incompetent negotiator. Barack Obama is an incompetent. Incompetent negotiator, except when he negotiates against Republicans. He gets everything he wants. You know, it's interesting. A friend of mine brought up something. They talked about, right, 3-4 years ago, they said, if we could only have the House, we got the House. Then they said, if we could only have the Senate, we got the Senate. And you know what? It's gotten worse. It's worse. The omnibus budget is a disaster. It lets people come in from Syria, it funds it. It funds illegal immigration coming across the border. It funds Obamacare, which we're going to repeal and replace.
negotiator for us, but he's a great negotiator against the Republicans. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Is it true though? Is it true? He gets everything. He gets everything he wants. I watched Boehner say, we will not shut down the country. Well, I don't want to shut down the country either. You know, in negotiation for the budget. This is just before he got out. Boehner was there. And he said, we will not shut down the country. Now, he may believe that, and I believe it. Certainly, I don't want to do it either. But why do you say that? Why do you talk about it? Now, once he said that, I said, now the Republicans can't make a good deal. Because he gave away all the cards. Once he said that, I don't want to shut down the country. For the press, I'm saying this. Because, you know, they'll say, Trump wants to shut down the country. It was amazing. So I got to finish the story. So the Times, which is totally dishonest, a total piece of garbage. The Washington Post. How about that stupid Boston Globe? It's worthless, sold for $1. Did you see that story? The whole front page, they made up a story that Trump, they pretended Trump is the president. And they made up the whole front page is a make-believe story, which is really no different from the whole paper for the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing is and I think they're having a big backlash on that one. You know, here's a paper that the New York Times spent $1.3 billion to buy. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars on losses and operations. They recomputerize it. They spent a fortune. Let's assume they're in for $1.5 billion. They sold it for $1, and then they do editorials telling me what I should be doing about Japan and about Saudi Arabia and about other countries that we defend, okay? So they wrote a totally dishonest story, totally dishonest, and they basically do, but they don't put everything in. So we talked about, as an example, Japan or Saudi Arabia or any of them. And I said, no, we have to go to them. They have to pay their fair share. Now, I don't want them to defend themselves, and nobody is stronger and nuclear than I am. It's the biggest single problem that this world has. Not global warming. You know, Obama said the biggest problem we have is global warming. And by the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today, and it's freezing. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming. It's freezing. Man. In fact, this is a record cold spell on the whole big section of the United States. It's not just Rochester. The whole big section is like record cold. And I keep hearing about global warming. Now they'll say, he doesn't understand. This is a worldwide problem. Oh, no, I don't understand. Let's do IQ tests. Defend Japan and other countries. You know, in South Korea, we have 28,000 soldiers on the line between the maniac in South Korea, North Korea, right? We have 28,000 young, brilliant, beautiful, wonderful soldiers that are in harm's way, that we love, that parents love, and they're very nervous. And we have this guy over there talking nuclear, talking everything else, and talking about, you know, you ever see his armies, they're very big. And we have our people over there, and we're not properly reimbursed, okay? And Japan is not properly reimbursing. And Saudi Arabia, again, $1 billion a day. What are we doing, folks? They got to take care. If we weren't in Saudi Arabia, if we weren't protecting them, they wouldn't be there for 1 week, believe me, not 1 week. And yet they make the money with you. And by the way, this has nothing to do with Saudi Arabia. I have so many friends from Saudi Arabia, so many friends in Japan, so many friends. I have buildings in South Korea. But you know what? What's fair is fair. I'm more interested in our country. These are countries that are behemoths. Economic Germany, it's an economic behemoth. By the way, even though she is in the process of destroying Germany with the migration, destroying it. Do you know that she was Person of the Year, and I would have gotten it if she didn't get it? And now they're saying, I think we made a mistake in picking Merkel, we should have picked Trump. Time magazine. I've been on the cover of Time magazine a lot lately. You know what they're doing?
The reason I've been on so much is because it's a movement. What we have going is a movement. Now they're trying to subvert the movement. They can't do it with bodies, they can't do it with people because they don't have near the people that we have. So what they're trying to do is subvert the movement with crooked shenanigans, all right? And we're just not gonna let it happen. We're not gonna let it happen. We can't let it happen. Because we can bring this country back so fast, so fast. There are so many forces against us. They've been against wage earners for forever, it seems. But 17 years, people have not had an effective wage increase in this area. 17 years they haven't had. And then you wonder, why are they angry? In fact, a writer came to me and said, Mr. Trump, are you angry? I said, no, I'm not angry. I know what's there. Well, your people are angry. I said, no, they're not angry. They're not angry people. You're not angry people. But you're tired and you're sick of watching the stupidity and the thefts, and you're watching the world take our country away from us, and that's exactly what's happened. Exactly. So I told the New York Times as plainly as you're standing there, and I'm sorry we couldn't get you chairs, it's just too many people. But I told the New York Times, I said, no, they have to pay for these services, that's something commensurate. Even if we lose something, but we can't, we're losing our shirts on every single deal. We lose on trade, we lose on the military. You know, people say we have a military budget, which is true, that's many, many times any budget anywhere in the world, that's true. You know why? Because we're defending everybody else. We're not taking care of ourselves. We don't take care of ourselves. Now remember this, in a deal, and I wrote this in The Art of the Deal, you always have to be prepared to walk. Carrie, there it is right there, one of the great books of all time. The Bible is the best, one of the great books. But I wrote, you always have to be prepared to walk.